Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this roundtable session powered by Vinculum. It will focus on emerging revenue opportunities for the e-commerce ecosystem. It's over to Mr. Venkat Nott.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm not holding off anyone from lunch. So let's quickly, what we're going to do today, initially is a very quick introduction to Vinculum. We're going to do that for 5-7 minutes. Then we will have a short introduction from Amazon, not that Amazon needs an introduction, AWS. And post that, we will directly jump into each part of the e-commerce ecosystem, where we try to put these in different buckets here. So the way we have put it is retailers are people predominantly without stores. Retailers are predominantly with stores and who are also selling online. We got marketplaces. We have representation here from Flipkart and Amazon. And we have retailers from Max. I think we were expecting Burger King and one more as well to join, SSIPL. I'm not sure if they're going to come, but that's from the retailer side. No representation from CPGs, but we are well represented on the e-tailer. So thanks to Unig, thanks to Preetha here with the Label Corp, and any other retailer I'm missing? Yeah, so anyway, we have a good representation here. So I think the CSOL was also expected, but not sure if they're here or maybe they're delayed. So without much ado, let me go quick. That's me. Just a quick background. Vinculum, before Vinculum, I worked with HCL for a decent period of time. So I helped build up HCL's operation, HCL Tech's operations in different parts of Asia, and helped start up the retail and supply chain vertical of HCL when it didn't exist, along with two of the co-founders who helped start Vinculum, Piyush and Deepak. So many, Sunil knows us for a long time. Some of you know, but good or bad reasons, we have spent a lot of time outside India, so not everybody knows us. So I've lived practically the last 20 years outside India, different parts of Asia, Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand, etc. So live in Singapore, but I keep coming, and more I'm here. I'm coming closer to India. So a lot of customers in India, though, and then hopefully that will keep happening. So as a company, we're focused on enabling multi-channel retailing. The suite of products you see below are all e-commerce specific. Order management, which essentially focuses on multi-channel order management. I'll talk about WMS, which is very specific to 3PL e-commerce WMS. We have a solution for managing all the cataloging issues that marketplaces and retailers face. So we work with someone like AskMe quite strategically closely to keep their catalog clean. So we have a data management platform for that. Seller panel, again, used by AskMe and used by a few vertical marketplaces. SIM, primarily, every retailer will tell you the pain of not having real-time view of the inventory. So we have a solution which integrates with the SIM products in the market, which essentially orchestrates near real-time view, which is critical to omni-channel retailing in the first place, and also to unlocking many of the revenue opportunities. Without that, it's pretty difficult to do. So, but it's a pain point which we see globally, not necessarily with retailers in India. Anywhere you look, people have problem with real-time view of the inventory. Axel is our first partner, investor. So Axel works, and you don't need an introduction. So Flipkart also is backed by Axel. And we are also backed by Ivy Cap. Ivy Cap is an ex-alumni of IIT and IIM grads who got together to run a very interesting fund. They're very active on the tech and e-commerce space. So I'll straight jump into this to set the context for the discussion. So the three areas where we work is in the middle, essentially multi-channel order management, e-commerce fulfillment, real-time view of inventory. We think all of these have some very common elements. If we take sellers on marketplaces, essentially sellers on marketplaces want easy ways to sell on multiple channels. Many of them are not tech strong. So you want a seamless way to be able to sell on a Flipkart, sell on a AskMe, sell on an Amazon without too much difficulty. That's the key point. So, and you want to manage orders from multiple channels, maybe their own website and these channels from a common inventory base. So we have an inventory express product for that, which is zero implementation product, which connects to global marketplaces. There are about 8 to 10 marketplaces we work with. That's an increasing number. So we're trying to work with a large set of marketplaces there. We have a list of 30 plus, which we are trying to integrate to over the next 6 months. E-tailers, as we go into the next base there, e-tailers need more sophistication than a seller, primarily because they're trying to reach a much wider base of customers. You do need good solutions for order management, but you also need to manage your supply chain far more effectively in terms of being able to reach customers across a wider geography and also to manage returns, right? So when we look at e-tailers, you need a more sophisticated order management solution. However, the key thing here, as long as it doesn't cannibalize, there is a very interesting opportunity to sell on marketplaces. Many of them are doing it. There is also a very interesting opportunity to sell on retail, many retailers. So partner retailers could be the model to go for many online brands. Globally, it's something which is quite effectively used by many retailers. So that's an opportunity to look at. And working with 3PLs means there are many 3PLs who do e-commerce deliveries very effectively. Through them, you can actually reach nook and corner of the country to be able to cost effectively deliver your goods. So that's a genuine opportunity too. And if you go further, there are companies like Jaipur who have done this beautifully, where 90% of their customer base is outside India. They work with cross-border platforms for being able to reach customers outside India. So there is, I'm talking things which are very familiar for people. Pardon me if it is too simplistic, but the platforms like Aramex, for example, you have a local address to deliver the goods to. Aramex is a shipping platform through which you can ship to 65 plus countries in terms of being able to reach customers in many parts of the globe. So Jaipur, of course, targets NRIs because it's ethnic wear. It's easy for them to work with platforms like that to reach customers outside India. So but that's an opportunity for many companies. One of our customers, Proyog, is trying to work with marketplaces in something like 6 or 7 countries. So they have a business plan to go into multiple countries, sell through marketplaces. So it's an opportunity for many retailers, in my view. So that's something to look at. We increasingly see CPG companies also selling on marketplaces. CPGs are opening up seller portals to be able to go through and reach more customers than they traditionally reach. So that's a trend which we see big time. CPG, sorry, is consumer packaged goods. So Colgate, Palmolive, or Hindustan Lever, or any of them, right? So increasingly we're seeing that, means they're saying if retailers can capture the consumer habits, why can't we say that Venkat buys 2 razors every month and breaks 4 toothbrushes every month? So why don't we send it straight to him every month, right? So save the trouble for him. So things like that is easy to do, and what is very obvious is to sell through a marketplace, but they're also opening up portals to reach customers direct. So there is interesting opportunity there as well. And if we go to retailers, of course, retailers are the good old boys, and Sunil will tell us that, look, we want everything, but we won't spend. So, so the challenge with retailers is you have older systems, and you have customers who are possibly going off to all other parts of the ecosystem. So when we look at retailers, there is does it mean that, I know we are talking omni-channel, definitions vary. So I see it as 2 loops. There is a closed loop where you're orchestrating a consistent experience for customers between your online presence and your offline presence and trying to make it more easy, more convenient for customers. That's the classic omni-channel, the way I understand it, which means I want to look up inventory before I shop. I want to go to a store, and the sales associate should be able to close the sale if the item is not there through another store where the item is there, ship it to my house, or reserve it for me so that I go pick it up, right? So things like that I would expect as a customer, right? But these are all things which don't necessarily give you more money directly. Hopefully it results in brand loyalty down the road, but does it give you more revenue? Well, there will be some winners, but there will be a lot of people who will be down the wayside. That's my take on it. But there is the open loop where there is a genuine opportunity for retailers. You can onboard retailers, get them to sell their products on you. There are interesting niche brands who can sell on your shops or on your website. You could work with marketplaces. You could sell on a Flipkart and make sure there is a shop-in-shop concept on the marketplace. You could piggyback using 3PLs to do e-commerce deliveries much more effectively than go and change all your systems, because you are historically the products you use, the bigger products, SAP, Oracle, or any of them, or your own applications custom built are all B2B-ish, no matter what the companies may say. So there is a lot of customizations to be done to make it work for online. So there is a genuine opportunity to see how you can work there. You can, other than that, you can also fulfill marketplace orders through the inventory in the store. So that's again very interesting. So I know I'm getting accused saying that I'm overshot because I enjoy talking about this, so I just go off. But fulfilling marketplace orders through inventory in store is a concept which it has definitely found its feet outside India. I think there is a genuine opportunity. If you have real-time view of the inventory in the store, if you go to eBay, for example, you will see that eBay gives you options saying that do you want to wait for 4 days to get your cycle which you have just bought, or there are 4 stores which are supplying this cycle. Do you want to pick it up immediately? So that's something which you can do with partner retailers. The whole concept of ship from store could be an interesting opportunity based on the brands you sell. If they have online websites and they have the view of inventory in your store, you could actually become their fulfillment partner. So I think there are many interesting opportunities there, but the core of it is still integration to marketplaces, two-way, real-time view of inventory for retailers, and so the closed loop and the open loop. The closed loop also could get more brand loyalty, but I think the open loop gives you a lot more opportunities. And the whole 3PL and marketplace I see as channels and people who can help. They don't need to be competitors to anyone in the ecosystem. So 3PLs, essentially, who are e-commerce focused, can help you deliver much more wider, more cost effectively, and marketplaces can help you sell more. So that's the long and short of it. So what we do is at the hub of the 3 things, right? So we have solutions which, with ready integrations to marketplaces, 3PLs, and web stores. That's essentially what we do. So we have a full suite of products, primarily an order management solution with an express product targeted at sellers. But the whole thing is, if you look at it, a WMS, which is extended for 3PLs for e-commerce fulfillment. We have a PIM piece helping cataloging issues with a deduplication engine, cleansing engine. So someone, I don't know if the numbers are right, but 16 million records, ask me, is being cleaned through this solution. So it should be able to handle retailers and e-tailers as well. So we do work with Watsons as well in the region, some retailers in Southeast Asia there. And there's a seller panel and analytics there, an operational analytics too, just to say what products are selling, which categories are selling, how do you manage your thing better. So that's it. I don't want to spend any more time on introduction of the company. We'll go jump in straight. I've taken some of your time, right? So that's Chandra. I'll let him just talk about AWS.
All right. So I don't know if you can do it up here. Do I need a mic?
There is a mic here if you want. Because, yeah.
I wish I had a suit. Now, this is the first time I feel I had a suit, you know. So, but nevertheless, so my name is Chandra Sankolkar. I lead West for Amazon's business. That is the AWS part of the business, right? Actually, you need to flip the slide deck. You need to flip the slide deck, or is it? My deck is somewhere here. So just to introduce myself, 21 years sales. That's it, right? So, you know, that's all I've been doing. What I'm going to talk about today is essentially infusing agility in business with AWS, and I'm going to talk about some trends that we're seeing. I don't mean to be preaching to the converted, because most of us are actually using AWS in this room today. But what I'd like to talk about is the true reasons why people are going onto the cloud or onto AWS, so that and all the new stuff that is being rolled out, all the innovation that is rolled out, if we can actually take a step back and say, is my infra, is my IT service agile enough to actually get going on whatever I'm planning to do on the omni-channel, on the multi-channel, or on the e-commerce space that we're heading towards. So, this is Amazon.com. Most of us have heard of it. Most of us have shopped on it. Interesting, anecdote. I was presenting to one of the partner forums, and I asked them how many of us have not heard of Amazon.com, and nobody raised their hands up, thankfully. So I said, what is Amazon.com? And one guy, put up his hand and he said, it's a cool tool to save my skin when my wife is upset with me. So I thought that was a damn good definition, so I thought I will share it. But the question that we get asked often is, what is Amazon.com, an online bookseller, doing into cloud computing? What are you guys doing in cloud computing? So the explanation for that is fairly simple. We at Amazon have a long history of innovation, and what we do is we reiterate on whatever minimum viable products or ideas that we have. And after a decade of running a very highly scalable, available, and secure website called Amazon.com and the e-commerce portal, what we realized that we had a core competency in running deep into the stack, right, into the plumbing that makes up that website, into the plumbing that makes up whatever we are agile for our customers. And those loosely coupled services, we decided that we could offer to a completely different set of customers. And therefore, we decided to go into what is called as cloud computing. Now, what really is cloud computing? Essentially, it is the on-demand delivery of IT resources on the fly. Pretty much like switching on the lights in this room. When we walked into this room, we switched on 2 lights, then we switched on the projector, we got the AC on, and when we go, we're going to power them down and switch them down, and we're going to pay for only what we use. The hotel's going to pay for only what is going to be used at that stage. Pretty much like that, right? So it's defining how much compute, how much networking, database, how much facilities or infrastructure that you need, and you pay as you grow. You pay for only what you use, and then you shut it down when you don't use. And you don't need to guess capacity because you can scale out technically, practically, infinitely on this front. Now, we believe that cloud computing should have some following characteristics, and this should align with the business pretty much in terms of what we're trying to do. Just wanted to kind of give you a brief 1 minute on this front. One is that it should have no upfront investment. So you shouldn't be paying for the dam when you want water. You shouldn't be paying for the grid when you want electricity, right? So it's completely no upfront investment and low ongoing costs. You should get the benefits of the increasing scale, right? We at Amazon work on this philosophy known as virtuous circles, and it's embedded in every business that we follow, whether it's the retail business, the Kindle business, Amazon Prime, or AWS. So as we get more and more customers, and we've just clipped our 1,000,000th customer worldwide, we have tens of thousands of customers in India right now. As we get more and more customers, we get more economies of scale. Now, in the old world, we could either choose to drop our costs and book that as profit in the old world. But in the new world, you pass it on to the customer, thereby building a virtuous cycle. As the prices drop, you get more and more customers, and thereby more economies of scale, and thereby, so a classic retail model. We've got retail into IT because that's what our DNA is. We have that operating skill, and we have that focus. The other thing is no need to guess capacity, go global, reach, and you focus on your business rather than managing the muck, right? So we manage your racking, stacking, data center, cooling, power, OS hardening, and things like that. Things that you guys probably don't even want to get into, right? So we manage all that so that you can focus on your business. A couple of slides.
It's totally secure, right? Nobody can hack it.
Yeah, I mean, so security is our #1 priority, right? Because if you're not secure, we don't have a business. So that's where it is. We have a number of examples and a number of accreditations to that. So we can talk on that as the discussion goes on. Interesting slide I picked up. I don't know how relevant because a lot of us are from the new age industry, but this is what you guys are doing, right? Essentially, if you see the sinusoid, this is it shows that the average lifespan of top companies is shrinking, and also says that by 2027, all of this S&P, 75% of S&P 500 will be replaced. And this is a real trend. This is a plotted trend. Just a thought to consider. Yeah. So this is what McKinsey says, right? Companies have to disrupt themselves to kind of get ahead of them. If you don't disrupt yourself, somebody else will probably do the disruption for you. So that's the thought behind this. This is another thought proof point of disruption, right? I saw this about a month ago, right? It's a beautiful slide which says that today, Americans trust tech retail firms more than they trust the banks. I mean, this came out and made a bit of a flurry around this, and I believe this is a short sign of creative disruption, creative destruction that's happening around the thing. Now, the philosophy that we follow, and this is important, is that, today, see, disruption has been on for every industry. We don't see Kodak cameras anymore. We don't see, if I may call it, Blackberries anymore. We don't see postal email anymore, and so on and so forth. But today, what has happened is, today what is happening is, whatever can be digitized will be, and digitization has only accelerated that whole process of disruption. Now, innovation is clearly moving to a formally organized project. I'm going to leave you with this, saying that gone are the days of the old business plan, right, where you had to make a capex decision, and then you had to work with everybody, work for 6 months, and make a business plan and see that it works, right? And you spend $1 million finally, and then you pray really hard that it works. Those days are gone. We moved into a concept of minimum viable product, which is what is the minimum hypothesis, or what is the minimum requirement for me to test this hypothesis. And once you've done that, you moved into a pervasive innovation culture, which is essentially being unleashed as a default mindset today. So that's something that the cloud unleashes, because of, for innovation to happen, two things have to happen. You've got to try a lot of experiments. And if you're pushing the envelope, many of those experiments should fail, if you're really pushing those envelopes. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to live with the collateral damage of a failed experiment. So I'm going to stop here on my presentation, and we'll carry that on with Venkat. Thank you.
Collateral learning.
Okay. Thank you for that. Rishi, do you want to take the lead in terms of what do you see as the opportunities for e-tailers and retailers to work with someone like yourself? Where are the opportunities that you see? What are the challenges?
Yeah, so let me start by saying that you would experience that over the last 6 to 8 months, Flipkart has been really changing the philosophy of how it has been doing business, and more focused on my category. We used to be about 70% selling from a buy and sell model. That means Flipkart was trying to make money from buying goods and selling at a profit or a limited margin, and then therefore trying to make. But then we realized that the scale at which Flipkart was growing, it had to be a more of an enabling platform than trying to do most of the stuff. Similarly, a lot of the delivery, for example, was completely controlled by e-cart, and a lot of stuff was done in-house, and that really was good for the beginning phase because it gave a seamless experience to the consumer. But then now, at the rate at which Flipkart is growing and the size that it has reached, it means that we are moving to a model which is much more platform. So as of last month, almost 85% of my business came from third-party sellers, other sellers. And just that last 10-15 is what is going to be completely out by end of the year. So basically, in fashion, we are doing $1 billion sales this year with nothing being bought by us. At the same time, we are also using 3PL to do part of the deliveries, which means that a large part of the business is going there. And which opens up a whole opportunity because the business has been growing very well. We have been tripling business every year. And all that business is now for partners to really make good. And the most importantly, the focus of the company therefore has moved into how we solve consumer problems through technology and through supply chain, and therefore enable more and more consumers to be sticky to the platform, really enjoy buying and easy buying on Flipkart. As you would have seen, we launched something called image search, which means that if I like your dress, I don't have to describe it. No filter will tell me how to, but you can take a picture and find it. Or social, where I like something, I want to check with my wife, I could, or my friends, I could do it instantly. So these are features which are live. And many such features. We launched Geo, which means discovery of items closest to you, which means better SLAs through technology. And therefore, which means that anybody connected with the platform as a seller or as a partner has more and more opportunity to service the consumer. And thereby, it opens up opportunities for everyone. So bulk of the work that me and my team have been doing over the last 6 months is actually reaching out to everybody in the industry, retailers. Today, a Pantaloon is live on Flipkart, a Shoppers Stop is live, to get all the online retailers to sell on Flipkart, and a lot of them get a lot of business from Flipkart, enabling them to build brands, enabling them to use analytics, find out opportunities that consumers seem to be demanding, but somebody's not fulfilling, and therefore really help people build larger businesses, more sticky propositions, and the focus is really on how do we make them more sustainable by giving them brand building opportunities as we go forward.
Give us some sense on how many 3PLs you have and where you have coverage, and how many sellers are actually working with you, and how many retailers have come on board in these 6 months.
Okay, so we have today 5 crore consumers registered with us. We get about 3 crore consumers shopping every month. We have about 35,000 sellers with us. Most
in fashion.
Overall Flipkart.
Overall,
Yeah.
okay, no,
Yeah,
so fair
yeah.
enough, yeah.
That's overall Flipkart. A lot of consumers buy multiple categories.
Sure,
etc. So, also what has happened is almost all retailers are onboarded. So over the last 6 months, for example, a company like Madura Garment is API integrated. So that means their warehouse is live on Flipkart, and we have FCs everywhere. So they are using our warehouses to do shipment. Shoppers Stop is live on Flipkart. So most retailers, big and small, are live on Flipkart, and therefore practically everyone is. And now we move to the next stage where people are looking to build new properties with Flipkart, like it happened in mobile that Motorola and Xiaomi got built on Flipkart. So you would see a lot of new propositions for consumers being built on Flipkart with the opportunities and the costs that online has, which is, I believe, much cheaper than the offline world. Yeah.
So you spoke of opportunities for 3PLs, e-tailers, retailers,
Sellers,
right?
yeah,
Sellers. So specifically for retailers, how easy or difficult is it to sell on Flipkart? And is there a danger of cannibalizing that they should be wary of? What is your view? And we'll ask their view too.
So when I meet a lot of the e-tailers, the first question is that the challenge that they have, as they express, is that how do I get more traffic? Getting traffic is something very tough, and they end up spending a huge amount of money in trying to get consumers to come and be consumers. So therefore, it's easy to come on Flipkart and really get access to and like the web services, you pay for what you use. So there is no fixed charges. So if you're getting traffic and you're getting business, you pay for it. If you don't, there's no cost to it.
Do you force them to be exclusive to you, or they can work on multiple marketplaces?
No. As Flipkart, we actually we don't push that unless we're building a proposition together and putting advertising money as we did in some of but it's an open platform, and we believe that if consumers are more sticky, the sellers will find a larger share of their business. So therefore, there is a fear that if we come on the platform, then traffic to my site will further go down, right? But point is that a pure platform on an app is equivalent to maybe Google on web, right? So the search starts from there. So I'll give an anecdote. My daughter once said, what is a kaleidoscope? And rather than going to Google and searching for it, I went to Flipkart and searched for it. And in a minute she said, can I have it? And then I pressed the button, bought, and it said it'll come in 4 days. And she said, 4 din lagega. So that's the expectation of the next gen. And therefore we need 3PLs to deliver in 2 hours, 1 hour. And therefore, if we try to do everything ourselves, if Flipkart tries to do all of it, they can't fulfill so fast. So it has to be a network, as you put it out, where somebody is solving that delivery, somebody is making that availability, somebody is really solving all of that. So that
Fulfillment from the store is something that you think will happen with partner retailers. Is it happening today?
So as we launch Geo, which means that you get better discovery of products. So the biggest cost in online is the cost of fulfillment, right? So today in the whole thing of building it up, you are shipping a 200 rupee item right across the country in a airplane and trying to get it fast, because if it takes a little more time, consumers might cancel it. So as you solve for more local availability, it helps the retailer in a massive way. He has already committed stock. He's looking for a seamless experience to the consumer. Consumer might walk into your store, he might call your store, or he might go online and look for your store or brand, right? So you should give a seamless experience. And you also have, having committed stock to say a store in Tripura, you would rather use that to service the order, both in terms of better SLAs, customer satisfaction, lower costs, and better sell-through of stock that have been already committed. So as retailers, retailers have a problem that the stocks in the stores are not usually clean, right? So I come from that world. I have just 10 months in retail. I was in Calvin Klein before this. And, you know, in this whole rush to do sales, there are tags which get mixed up. There are stocks which are for return and all of that. So as retailers build their whole omni-channel strategy and make their stores more ready for online discovery of items, I think, and we move more and more towards marketplace, I think the both are going to meet in a 6 to 8 month scenario where both see a great opportunity. I've cleaned up my store, my inventory is short, cataloged, and I want discovery, and the discovery happens through a marketplace, which could be ours or someone else, and the consumer gets a seamless transaction. So,
Preeta, do you want to add something there in terms of what
happen.
you see as possibilities and where you think are your challenges?
So I'm not going to be as articulate as Rishi. First. Secondly, we're barely 2 years old.
Just 2 minutes,
So-
you explain about the company as well.
So the
That's-
company
yeah.
is called the Label Corp. We have 3 brands that we're trying to build, which is the home label with Suzanne Roshan, the closet label with Malaika, and the third being the trunk label for accessories with Bipasha Basu. We're rebranding. So we're going to be called the Label Life from October 1st. So it's all confusing. So all 3 stores come under one sort of storefront. So we're too new to really delve into as many, categories or whatever that he spoke about. But for us, our instant issue with marketplaces or with, the big 2 are or have been driving not just the audience but the right audience. So we're trying to sell our product only online. Hence we're also trying to create this lifestyle sort of environment, right? So could be the same blue dress that you'd get on a Flipkart, but we add layers to it. It's curated by a celebrity, then it's styled in a particular manner, it's priced at a particular price point. The minute we enter, so we had an exclusive partnership with Amazon, but what ends up happening for us is then we are now placed alongside, 20 brands that are honestly unknown and 20 others who are really well known but are discounted like insanely. The sort of environment that hence we are placed in ends up becoming something that we are unsure of, which then, to give you an example of a brand abroad, because we honestly don't have a brand in India that we can, so we are trying to build another and Biba, Good Earth, etc., which we're trying to explain, but we're only selling it online. So what ends up happening for us is then what is the right environment to be in, Should we be on an Amazon? Should we not discount and be on an Amazon? Should we be on a Myntra, Jabong as verticals? But we also have a home category, so we are going to launch furniture soon. So just for us, the challenge is not really driving a customer because we'll have to pay a lot of money for it, but eventually the customer will shop with us and maybe we create something different for a Flipkart or an Amazon because, again, to give you another anecdotal, so we sell swimwear and we sell almost 50 pieces of swimwear a day, which I doubt any other brand in this country sells because we make really beautiful swimwear. We don't make sporty, athletic, etc. swimwear. We actually make dresses for women, but that they can wear to swim in, right? So it's a fabulous, we have about 100, which seems really small for you, but 100 styles on our swimwear category. Now, we gave the same sort of width to a marketplace, but we didn't see the same sales. Obviously, so it's a completely different audience that's being driven. But the challenge is, how do we match the two? How do we not make you guys discount? And in our case, I feel like the customer is willing to wait. This is because we have no scale yet. But would I order from a marketplace the same product?
Do you possibly have a very small set of SKUs which you will have on a marketplace? That may be the way you do it.
No, actually, we're offering the same width. Maybe we offer a different set. So internationally, what people do is, and him having been with Calvin Klein can shed some more light. But what we know internationally people do is, say it's a Kate Spade. You'll get Kate Spade for online, you'll get Kate Spade for offline, and then you'll get Kate Spade for marketplace. So everybody offers a different price point, a different offering. Okay. So, you will still come online to get something. You'll still go to Amazon or wherever to get something. So for us, the fulfillment is, dur ki baat. First, let's solve the brand issues.
Now, I'll quickly take the other two people in the same space, right? Saurabh, you want to talk a little bit, give background and explain, and we'll then go to Sujat's views. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I am representing Max brand here, which is purely brick and mortar. As at this point of time, we are sharing marketplace in Flipkart, yes, and then that's the little we are doing in terms of online. That's it. Yes. When I'm listening to all this, I don't know which side to take at this point of time, because really very.
It's a usual thing with retailers.
So it's really. So far it is brick and mortar, but then we're going with the title of the discussion here. I wish to tell you that at this point of time, the pressure is not felt, not seen, especially for someone like us where the proposition is very, very clear. We are following one value proposition. We are keeping highly, the product very edgy in terms of the pricing, and giving a very aspirational fashion, whether it is silhouette or the color or the cut or the design part of it. Another great thing we do is that we do not over discount in offline scenario. So for us, sales means 21 days. That's it. No 22nd days. No discount. You get to see it on our floors. The reason is that we plan it so well, and then we ensure that the sell-throughs are touching approximately 80 to 85% of the stock we buy, we sell. So that pays as of now. We are seeing good growth, LFL, like for like. But when I look at how I get benefit, or what do we need to do in terms of capitalizing the entire opportunity here lies in front of us, I think one thing which we are not able to do at this point of time, which is where we getting helped by the marketplaces to reaching out to the cities where, in terms of brick and mortar, we are not there. We are only catering to A town and B town. We are not there in C town. And yesterday I was attending to the lot of discussion forums here, and somebody was making a point. I'm so sorry, don't remember the name, but then they said the amount of like-for-like growth on the marketplace has actually come from B and C, not so much from A cities. So I think if that's true, then the ideation here, the entire objective of the ideation here is getting integrated in terms of that the brick and mortar, getting space and reaching out to the places where we are practically not there. So that is one part of it. So that's an advantage. The challenge I see here is on the marketplace. How do you basically drive your value proposition other than that you keep discounts in your own control and do not over discount the product? Other than that, it is very, very difficult to give an experience, because finally everybody is offering a product and they are all serviced by a common 3PL, and there are common policies. There are 4 days delivery time. So price points are something for the people to have a look at it and decide before they buy. So that's the only brand niche which has to come into the play. But the challenge here is that how do you really deliver that brand experience online? So I think that's for me the challenge on the online platform.
So going back to that closed loop discussion which I was talking about, experience, convenience, etc. is definitely a step. Yes. Marketplaces is the other side of the opportunity, but you have to obviously look at the closed loop as well. How do you give the experience to the customers to analyze online before they shop?
That's
How
right.
can you give them a better experience of researching coming to the store more informed, better prepared. But anyway, I'm just talking from what I think as one of the key steps there. So we'll go logically to Sujar to see if we can get something out of the fashion group first. I'm sorry that we're taking time for the other groups, but I just wanted to logically close that group.
Yeah, sure. I think ours is comparatively a confusing model, right? So you have retailers, e-tailers, and marketplaces on top of them. We even sit on top of marketplaces.
So you're the one who has figured it out day one. Yeah, it's not confusing.
So yeah, so there's no similar model that exists either in India or even outside, right? So basically, how we started was we wanted to be a personal styling and personal shopping.
One line maybe, sir.
Yeah,
in
sure.
terms of
So-
people who may not know you, one line.
Yeah, so
Unique
is a personal styling and personal shopping app for women. So what we do is we allow women to shop fashion that suits them, that suits their body, whether it's the body shape, skin tone, height, etc. And also their lifestyle, their personality, their budget preferences, what's trending in their locality, etc. Ultimately, it's a store that customizes itself depending upon the user, right? Differently for a Chennai housewife, differently for a Mumbai college girl, and it will be different for a Delhi working woman, right? So we are primarily a tech company. I worked at Amazon before 7 years. So the way how we have been operating is what we said is to provide ultimate personalization. We need to access any selection that is available. It could be a marketplace such as a Jabong or a Snapdeal or Fashionara, or it could be a seller who is selling in Surat, or it could be a physical store. We said like let's not divide this. All our selection. If a customer wants to buy a Jabong private label and a Shopper Stop bottom and a Fashionara accessory, they should be able to do it in one click. Right? We do not want to differentiate on that. So we have currently we have close to 3 million women users who have installed our app, and our app is only less than 1 year old, right? So already, maybe we are already doing more app sales. I don't know, Rishi might know the numbers, but we might have more GMV than what Jabong does on a app, right, for women. So, and the reason is this access to selection and allowing them to personalize it, right? So that's where we are saying, and we see the challenges that what Preeta was kind of pointing out, right? For example, I have the same saree. A Surat seller is selling it for 300 rupees. Someone else will be giving it for 3,000 rupees. Someone else will be giving it for 30,000 rupees, right? So how do we personalize? So based on budget preference, if I know this user is looking for a 300 rupees saree, I show the Surat seller, right?
Say it's the same saree, okay?
It's the same picture. Let me just put it right here, right?
Sending out messages saying Malaika recommends this, and all the marketplaces call, they see something and say we have 4 things like this, and I'm like no, but they do.
Yeah, so basically this seller just, so we have for example, we acquired an image intelligence company primarily to make sure we merge all these images, buy the image, and then make sure that, hey, this are...
That's the other thing, we'll buy images and not...
Yeah, so that's where we are, but as I said, ours is kind of different model on how we
Since
go
we're
about
going
it.
to personalization and analytics, yeah. So let me logically go into views from Google in terms of what Nadesh thinks, how he can help the different parts of the ecosystem on data analytics and personalization. And wherever you think Google can value add.
Yeah, I think let me talk about 2 different parts here. One is how do you build the brand experience online, right? And I think to me, so let me first make it clear that I don't work with e-commerce, right? So there's a different team that works with Rishi and his team. I largely work with the brick and mortar retailers as they're digitizing their business, going omni-channel and doing other things, right? And I'll tell you, I've been in the last probably 8 months, the number of C-level conversations centered around e-commerce, even though it may not be, in some cases it is translating into business impact, in a lot of cases it may not be translating into business impact, but the amount of mind space it's taking is phenomenal, right? And now what that's resulting in is a almost reduction in the speed of decision making, because there's so much talk happening. There are 10 articles every day in the pink papers, right? And therefore the inability to decide which is the right direction for me to go. Because everyone is saying different things. 20 people are coming and meeting me every day, telling me to do different things. what am I really supposed to do? And our view is very simple, right? Be where your consumer is. Today, we may say that the consumer is not, deciding to choose a Flipkart or an Amazon or a deal over us. We may say that they're not doing it, and maybe they're not, right? But that same consumer is also doing that, right? Is spending an increasing amount of time in that medium, right? So if you're not present there, I would say, to me, at least whenever I go into those conversations, the answer is very clear, right? If I am not geared up for it today, I need to partner with people who are already geared up for it today. Over time, maybe I need to build my own platform. But as of today, I think the consumer is already there, and we need to start moving there pretty fast. The other aspect is on the brand building side, right? What's critical is that I translate that brand experience into whichever platform I'm going to. Or I invest in digital brand experience building rather than digital performance, which is what a Flipkart and an Amazon and a Snapdeal are doing. They want to drive business, so they're getting traffic which will transact on their destination across any brand on their platform, right? Your job is to get the consumer to start thinking about your brand, and even when they go to their platform, they choose you over everybody else. Or over a period of time, start coming increasingly to your own destination, and that's not going to happen tomorrow, that's probably going to take 2 years to happen, to transact and engage with you. Those will be your true loyal customer base. And that's where I think digital can play a very strong role in creating those experiences, in helping you build your brand. And especially in your case, I think, to me, it's a logical extension to say that should I partner with them, but should I also continue to invest in focusing on building my brand so that when the large base of consumers who are going to their destinations continue to engage with me. I'll give you another example of a brick and mortar retailer who doesn't have omni-channel, but what is the focus for them, right? Let's take the example of Madura. 2% of Madura's business today is online, right? 98% of their business is offline. So the CEO, frankly, right, it's important to have those discussions, and they will continue to have those discussions because it's taking mind space. But at the end of the day, dhanda is offline. I need people to walk into my store, right? I am doing everything that I'm doing today to drive people into that store. And I don't think enough retailers are understanding that digital is driving store footfall. I'll give you a very simple study that we did with one of the largest hypermarket retailers, right? Today, hypermarket is probably, or grocery or day-to-day retailing is the smallest percentage online, right? It's just starting off, it's very, very small. 60% of people who engaged with the online communication went to store. People just look for 3 things online from a retailer.
People don't care which channel it is. I mean, I would.
Yeah, I mean, it's about answering consumer query, right? So if you think about what is it the consumer wants from a retailer, it's about what are you, what do you have to offer me, what's the current offer that you're running, right? And where can I find you? I can find you online, I can find you offline, but these are the 3 fundamental questions. Who are you, what are you, what's the current offer, and where are you available?
In fact, the consumer says, saying, find me, tell me, make me the offer, and deliver it to wherever I want.
And,
so that's
and these
really
are very simple
going.
things to answer. This doesn't require rocket science, it doesn't require a year of planning. It can be done in a week if you want to.
Oh, I would possibly tend to disagree there. If you're a brick and mortar, it's not so simple.
No, it is. I'm saying that especially the second 2, right? Second is what is my offer and where am I available, right? Every week, every single brick and mortar retailer knows their offer of the week, right? They are doing some offer of the other. They're coming up with a print ad, they're coming up with a radio campaign, they're going on TV, right? They know their offers. Can I forget about something simple as taking that print ad and putting it on one destination, yeah, that at least the consumer gets to know what the offer is. Today, even that's not available. Your store locator on maps, as simple as that, right? So, I mean, start small and then build on top.
There are a lot of things people are doing. Like in everything, there are various grades, right? So, let's hear the view of Amit. I'm sorry that again, it's taking time for us to come to the rest of the panel.
So, like interesting, I'm all right.
So, Amit, again, 1 minute, just for anyone who doesn't know you, what are the things you take care of?
Okay, so I am representing Future Group. I don't think the group needs any introduction. We are the largest retailer in the country, and also would like to be the largest e-tailer in the country. Okay, so that is the vision of the group and its owner and promoters and so on and so forth. We actually work, if I look across the table, with almost everybody on the table. So, like for Google, Amazon, Vinculum itself, and some other brands as well. So, for us, journey is simple. Have taken the market share in terms of brick and offline retail, and we would like to basically take this further in the online space as well. I look at technology. I'm responsible for technology, and the only vision what we have is not to reinvent anything, because the speed is with the people are, and the competition and the country is moving ahead is phenomenal. It's whether it's on the digital side, whether it's on the internet side, whether it's on the print side. Like the partner from Google said, it's everything is about mind space. People do not talk about politics. People talk about e-commerce. So people don't talk about country problem, but they talk about what's the best price you got on Snapdeal or Flipkart or something like that, and who's doing pretty well. So technology is driving all that, and it's great. It's great for the country, I would say. It's resulting in a lot of awareness, and India basically is moving quickly from being a developed economy to an emerging and a fast-moving economy. And I think it's a great time, and it's a time of disruption and change, and I'm sure technology will bring in everything possible. Yeah.
So, Shanu, what is your take on that? How difficult has been your journey? You're a manufacturer. You're starting off to go on an omni-channel journey. What are the challenges that you have faced as a retailer?
Hello. So I think for me the challenges are more. Yeah, okay. So I'm setting up e-commerce for Godrej Ontario. It's the largest furniture brand in the country, both in B2B and B2C space. And it's Godrej, as all of you would know, is more than 100 years old company, and the biggest challenge is the mindset of people who've been working for years in the country, in the company. I mean, it's more of internal rather than external. So it's plain and simple that all we know that any manufacturer who has retail presence, like we have about 250 odd stores of our own, and then hundreds and close to 1,000 dealers selling our products. So again, so they have an ambition.
So inventory-wise, you're going to have a common inventory between online and offline?
Those are the questions and still need to be addressed, and
okay.
I am for common inventory. In the omni-channel again, right? If customer is there and if there's a sales order, if you have inventory lying somewhere, you need to entertain the order.
Do you plan to work with external 3PLs to reach customers, wider reach of customers? Is that something on the plan?
So it's still evolving. I can't talk about everything as of now, and that'll not be the right thing.
Forum to, whatever you can talk,
Yeah.
sir. I'm just giving leading questions.
I know,
That's it.
I know. So it's been 7-8 months, and I've been evaluating technologies, and we have like most of the brick and mortar guys are trying now to have an omni-channel presence, and of course you can't achieve omni-channel, everything is good, and you need to provide integrated or unified retail experiences to your customer, whether he's online or offline. And now a customer journey is not a linear, right? I mean, they just see an ad somewhere and go to the store and buy. I mean, they try different things when during the entire journey, right from the exploration phase to the fulfillment and feedback. They go to your different channels, right? Your store, your call center, your mobile app, or your website. So you need to be present everywhere, and to deliver those unified experiences across all your channels, you need to have a robust technology, robust plan, which can't be achieved, in a month's time or in 6 months' time.
Culture, process, and technology
I
are
think
the 3 points.
Yes.
So which you need to bring on board internally.
Yes. So I'm trying to set up the culture first.
Okay.
So
I'll go to Ankit first from Ask Me Grocery. So first question is, how are you guys running grocery so profitably?
We are running grocery, but the second part still needs to be.
And what are the specific challenges of grocery? How many partners do you work with? Which countries are you in? Maybe a little bit about that too, yeah.
We are currently in India only, and within India also we have launched Delhi NCR right now. And but now, yes, we are expanding like anything. So we'll be there in say 27 cities by the year end, by the calendar year end. And like the grocery goes, as it's local, so we are also hyper local. And it's not that something will land up from Chennai to a Delhi customer, or something will land up from US to Delhi customer. But yes, what will add value is that we'll add the gourmet category, we'll add the pet foods category. So you can have more and more SKUs listed on the website, but all of them would be hyper local in some sense. So you won't have to wait for 4 days or 3 days, because grocery is something that you need when you are craving for it. So we are working towards that. So we have a model built around that. So we have multiple checkpoints and all, everything, and it's expanding, and it's just about the awareness that the people want, that okay, grocery bhi online bikta hai, acha. So I didn't know that. So give me the website. So people need it. It's just that we need to make them aware that it's available, and trust me, we are there. So what you want, we will deliver. So, but we have our own challenges. I was just going through all the speakers, what were they saying. So we have very basic kind of challenges, you can say. You say that inventory online. So I'm still trying to figure it out how, kirana wala can help me out in putting his inventory online, and which is, because he has own sets of habits, his mindsets. Maybe he can do it, but he doesn't want to do it. Maybe it's because of he doesn't want to show off his sales, how much sale he is doing. That's a basic habit of that kirana wala. Or maybe it's very difficult for a kirana wala to list 4,000, 5,000 SKUs, daily price upward, downwards. So it's a very big issue which is going on, and which needs to be tackled by the technological companies. So they have to provide a good seller app or a seller panel which can work in this particular thing.
So I should take a brownie for that
Yes.
you use our seller panel for all the sellers. Thank you for that.
So there is immense opportunity there.
So you have 40,000 plus sellers in Ask Me?
Ask Me, yes.
In the grocery?
Yes, Ask Me grocery right now. We have around 200 sellers in Delhi NCR alone, and we are tying up. So we'll be close to 1,000, I think, by this month end itself.
Okay.
So
do you want to add something else?
Yeah, and one point more that I would
sorry.
like to add is that the 3PLs that you were referring. So in hyperlocal, I don't think so that the 3PL makes that immense sense.
You'll have the last mile fulfillment guys.
So last mile fulfillment.
I'm classifying that as well. 3PLs and last mile fulfillment.
So last mile fulfillment, if it's hyperlocal, it needs to be in-house, so for a better management and a better control. So otherwise it can go out of control. That's our take.
Hi, my name is Amit Nigam, and I am the co-founder of Ask Me Grocery, bestatlovest.com. So first of all, I would like to say to Venkat that selling the seller panel would be easy, but installing at the Kirana store won't be that much easy for him. Okay, so that is the major challenge that we are facing right now. That to make him understand that okay, he needs to implement this and just pay for that and all that is easy. But automating the things in this kind of an unorganized atmosphere that is there in the grocery, that is the biggest challenge. And if you
solve that, you are the king.
Yeah, so that is the biggest challenge. Second, I would like to add that since we are sitting in this India Omni-Channel Summit, so I would like to add that as we move forward, things would be more basically e-tailing and retailing will combine, and that is the way forward, and that is what we are looking at, and that is what we decided when we started this venture, that this is the way. So basically we are enabling retailers in every sense to make them more and more online. And maybe we can think about that seller panel and all that. We have to discuss that with you after this meet.
So, Kanwa, thanks for flying in all the way just for the event.
Thanks a lot.
So maybe a couple of lines on Vestige. Vestige is a scorchingly, fantastically fast-growing company.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kamal Bir Singh. We started Vestige about 11 years back, and we are different from retail. We are a direct selling company. I have a distributor base of 40 lakh people with me, and I have about 210 offices and 3,500 exclusive stores of my own all across the country.
So where do you see the opportunities of selling online? Do you see partnering with marketplaces as an opportunity?
Yeah. See, the idea of was that we want to get into Vestige Best Deals is something which we've just registered. Whatever I cannot sell in Vestige, Vestige sells wellness products. But there are things which I cannot sell because of my model and because of the price and the competition. You know, India is a very price sensitive market. So what we want to do is we want to get into marketplace when sell everything which I cannot sell through Vestige, like electronics, you know, your groceries. I have a customer base which comes to my place, buys it every month. I have an active people of about 15 lakhs, which means they've bought something from me in the last 3 months, which is a big base which I want to encash it. And I've been talking to Piyush and
ridiculously profitable company, right?
See, I would say we are a cash-rich company because we don't give any credit at all, and we only work on cash business. You pay me, I'll give you the products. Otherwise, I don't give you any credit. And we've been growing with the rate of, I think, 100% every year on year. And the last month, again, it was the 38th month in a row where we did a record-breaking sales. This year, if I look at the trend, again, we are doing better than last month, so we're happy. Apart from the problems which, because of the government change which is happening, like with the imports and the Make in India concept, we invested so heavily into setting up our own plant because of the Make in India. You know, we have technical tabs with the US and everywhere, but to import is the biggest challenge. And unfortunately, Vinculum is not able to help us in that aspect. See, we're there in all. I mean, it's a great support which we have, and I never wanted to create my own internal team, and because people come, they run away. You're always looking for talent and new things.
So now, coming back to working with marketplaces, sir, when you see that as a
yes, it is a big opportunity. See, my people are still buying things. No, what I'm not selling.
With retailers.
Yeah.
Partner retailers, do you see?
I don't. That's the reason.
I think that's right. Wrong question. Okay. So, Sunil, I didn't come to you. What do you see as your challenges as you go look at revenue opportunities? Or after this, we'll open up for final discussions with everyone to see.
Thanks, Venkat. I think it says all right. I am in the last in the loop, so probably it says we are. So we are old economy. So I think I'll just take up one more point, which I think gentleman made, is retail into IT, right? Amazon is trying to do those things. In the real world, I think we are fighting the opposite battle. We are talking about IT into retail. Yeah, that is one of the most important dimensions that we are trying to figure it out, and that's the most important challenge that comes into my mind as of now. And as I look into this discussion, traditionally, I mean, I'm not off the record when I say I am old, because you see omni-channel here being discussed, e-commerce being discussed, marketplace being discussed, aggregator model being discussed. I think from a brick and mortar perspective, these are avenues of reaching the customer, right? Point number one. Point number two, can I reach there? Because it's good to talk about being in online, trying to get in online. Today, traditionally, the space that we are coming from, I represent Spar Hypermarket, and from our domain perspective, if you understand, the complexities are more. We're talking about 25,000 SKUs per store, right? From that dimension, if I try to look in from all these channels, what I'm trying to mention, omni-channel, e-commerce, I am pretty much sure that we will not be there, trying to attempt all those things. So coming back to what Venkat was saying earlier in the discussion was convenience.
You need not to try. We are there.
Absolutely, no. I'm saying yeah. So that is. So I was coming to that point where the journey will come to that stage. See, today what is happening is it's more about Rishi will agree because he's come from the brick and mortar part.
The idea was to give that network.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that because there are different parts of the ecosystem who will benefit from working with each other.
The point where I'm trying to make in is this journey will evolve as we speak. The right time for today is, actually from a hypermarket perspective, grocery, especially we are Spar, if you know, Spar is coming from a food kind of.
We have people from Spar.
Yeah, so the point is, I think, to get into that thing, I think omni-channel could be the right way, right, number one. Probably down the line, we might talk about marketplaces and e-commerce per se as a model. But the important definition that we need to understand today for a brick and mortar guy is manage your top line as well as your bottom line. That is the key. Right? I mean, we can all talk about, customer at the end of the journey. But today I have a challenge, servicing those customers. So I think coming into the online is definitely going to be.
Channel, giving that closed loop, good experience to customer, is it a revenue generator or is it a cost?
I would. Today, if you ask me honestly, it's a cost thing. So revenue generator, I think time will tell. The point is, we are doing heavy investment in terms of technology. When you say omni-channel, the most important part for me is, per se my capex from an operation perspective is not there because I'm not touching it. What we are trying to say is the treatment of inventory will be different. So where I'm saying is if I got 18 or 20 hypermarkets across the country, I think this will be my service points. So this is a pretty much decentralized model. What we're talking about is the store manager will have the empowerment to take calls on the customer, on the service, on the delivery. So I may not be competing with these guys because 2 hours, 3 hours is out of the way for us. Probably even if we can deliver in 1 day, I think it's a big thing because that is where I think we are coming from. What thought process evolved is you as a customer has...
The customer is getting used to the 2 hours, 3
But the
hours,
point is, see, I'm just trying to come to that point. Where I'm coming from is we are in a brick and mortar space. You as a customer has seen us, you have interacted with us. So you have a certain kind of brand perspective in mind, right? And then from our perspective, we're just trying to leverage that thing to the customer. So if customer has already been shopping with us and, for whatever reasons, it could be, traffic, it could be no time. So if you can attempt to get that customer. So I'm not looking for a customer radius of, say, 20,000, 30,000 customers jumping up. I am saying if I can target 5 kilometers of my store, that's a great achievement to start with. So I think we are real here, we are realistic here. I think that's where the entire game plan would change. And coming back to your query of revenue, I think, honestly, I don't think so anyone will make money here right now. It's a trial and test kind of model. It will evolve.
Become the brand of choice, obviously.
It's difficult, yeah. It's
open loop is an opportunity. As
absolutely. So where I'm coming from is market will force me to tie up with all those entities who are sitting in my opposite to me. Yeah, I think that's another way of looking at it. So the point is, I think, we have to go there. We don't have any choice. I think that's where it is. Yeah?
No, but I think that's an important point, right? If you look at data, right, the reality is that organized retail, which is where you operate, is only 50 billion out of 500 billion.
Yes.
Right? And what you are tackling is actually kirana, which is unorganized.
Yes.
Right? So they're actually not eating into each other's pie. And the reality is that kirana, organized retail hasn't made a dent into kirana at all today.
Yep.
Right? So it's to say that therefore the hyperlocal play will make a dent in the large hypermarket retailers is a question.
See, there was a day when people used to...
could be that instead of setting up new stores, they may find new ways to get
No, that's
that
true.
additional
I'm not
revenue,
debating that.
right?
I'm just saying that is there an opportunity to continue playing the game the way they are playing and still grow?
They will.
And coexist together.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
They will. And for the additional stores, it will become a competing point. Do I look
I
at
think it's more
revenue
important.
streams, or do I look at investing in my new
I think what becomes interesting is categories like fashion and electronics, where if you look at where is, I think the conversation becomes a little more interesting. Is it organized or is it unorganized? Because again, if you look at that pie, right, so $50 billion of organized retail, roughly about 15 to 20 being grocery, so remove that from the pie. So you have about $30 billion roughly of electronics and apparel. Electronics and apparel about 30 billion, out of which 5 billion last year was e-commerce, right? So that's already at a fairly large chunk. Now the question is that organized or is that unorganized, or is it growing the pie, or is the 500 billion itself growing? That's the question that I don't think too many people have an answer to. I don't know, Rishi, if you have a perspective.
So I'll give you a perspective. So it takes women's clothing, for example, which tends to be a long tail category. Women tend to buy products, buy more often, and so therefore internationally certain labels or retailers like Zara have tried to put a lot of designs rather than some standard designs being sold to everybody like men's. So with online coming in, or the power of online coming in, a lot of people creating more and more designs are finding consumers. So somebody creating, like you could be somebody who creates 20 styles and list it, and you are finding consumers because everybody wants to wear something different. Like that industry is like that, and want to buy more often. So therefore that industry itself had no exposure in the offline world, where distribution was restricted to large retailers or somebody who had enough cash to open up a store.
And that's the...
Now that offline is getting organized in terms of online. And in spirit of the discussion that we are discussing is that because that is finding a place to reach out to consumers, a lot of ecosystem is building around it, right? So for example, certain fabric guy will now start getting fabric from China, and rather than finding
sellers who would want that dress material, you would actually have these 500 women's dresses sellers on Flipkart who would reach out to the fabric seller and have access to fabric directly from China, right? A large fashion forecaster will be available on one of the platforms telling these sellers that, hey, the big brands are looking at these trend forecasts, why don't you look at it, right? Or a film star or a starlet would be able to reach out to one of the sellers, and it will not be connection that you have, but it will be so somebody might come to me and say, please find me 5 sellers to launch my label. And therefore somebody sitting in a small town could find a celebrity to launch a label with, right? So the entire ecosystem of shoot, the ecosystem of delivery, the ecosystem of personalization, finding your consumer segment, price, etc. is just opening up. And the guys who are set in a different model, which I was part of, that because retail cost is so much, my product cost into retail price should be so much X, and we should all sit together and decide sale will start only on 7 July or 8th of January and not one day before. Those models are being broken. And suddenly therefore you feel, yaar, ye to kabhi bhi discount chal raha hai, kabhi bhi usne price kam kar diya. But point is, who decided that, you know, there should be no price off? Why should a consumer not get a price off on Diwali? Why not?
The flip side,
You know, why only guys who have stores and money to build stores control that decision? So suddenly it's out in the open because of this. Suddenly this mobile is in everybody's hand. It has touch, it has a camera, you have 3G connections, it is a smartphone, and you can reach any product anywhere when you want. And then, so are we solving for him is the question you all have to answer. It's just a device, and that has opened up choices for consumers, and he does not need to drive to a mall only to get what he wants. So those are the changing phase of India and or the world.
Chandra, I didn't get the opportunity to involve you. Is there areas where you can, about what we have not covered, maybe one or two things?
Covered everything, so, and I'm not an expert in that area. So I used to head the Dell Technology Center at one time. So we all speak about analytics and cloud and everything, right? So the startup which I guide does a very simple thing. It has sort of democratized the way you deal with analytics. You ask question in simple English, it'll show you graphs and charts with answers straight away. It's a disruptor and it can help in a big way. Whether it's brick and mortar or even very cutting edge online guys, it can help everyone.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. And everybody has data, they don't know what to do with it and what it really shows. That's it. And I know we are all getting hungry for...
You can meet people, sir, and I'm sure because it sounds very interesting.
Not just the sound, it is interesting and it's a reality.
And closing comments in terms of, we have spoken various things, but if there are learnings, do you want to take somebody say?
I think,
we can open it up to the team.
And the point I think, where we are coming from is driving to your point was, I think we need to be there. I'm talking from a brick and mortar perspective, and especially for, from an hypermarket where we are talking about, ranges across apparels, electronics, we're talking about, fresh merchandise, fresh goods. So I think it's one of the ways of reaching the consumer, giving one more option to the consumer, saying that, look, we are there. As you said, I think the online presence, be it marketing, be it conversion of, my bill revenue kind of thing, everything has a perspective in mind. So I think definitely we need to be there. I think that's what the message is. Though we are old, I think that will be reverse trend where we try to be young.
Earlier time we used to say, right, websites have to be there because people now you have to be online because people expect you to
So I think that's the right word we are transforming.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
nothing got old,
right?
Because even the old stuff can become the new stuff. It depends on the way you look
I think I am pretty much sure next year if this kind of thing happens, discussion when all these forums are happening, I think a lot of things will be changed because omni-channel as we speak is, I think in the pipeline. So a lot of things will come in perspective and definitely we will have some good case studies going forward when we meet next time. So I think that is where I would leave.
One more point is that nobody is cannibalizing anybody's business. Absolutely. It's the consumer who's the king.
Absolutely.
Right now.
I think that is what I want to say, that basically we need to change the definition of we. We should be all the retailers, whether
that's the ecosystem
or the brick and mortar.
That is the ecosystem that
it
we
cannot be like that if we need to grow, we should be like all of us.
Absolutely.
So I think we should go for we are running late, that's why there is a final call there.
So Venkat, thanks for making all of us very hungry for business, and also for actual food.
Okay, fantastic. I think there is a group photograph which, if we can just get that, we can then.
over LinkedIn and over your email IDs. We will be continuing this thread as long as you want to. We'll be sending you some information. You can exchange ideas, case studies, white papers, anything you would want to do that. Let's continue this discussion. Thank you for everyone to chip in.